Program Director for the Soya Excellence Center. About this is that this past June, we celebrated 5 years of impact of this program in the sub-region. So it gives me great pleasure to present as quickly as I can, and please, like our host said, and of course, just walking in, it is the market lead for Nigeria and Sub-Saharan Africa for the U.S. Soybean Export Council in the person of Folusho Alabi. You met him yesterday. Can you give him a round of applause for us? So the members or the owners of that are on your screen. You can see some of the names there you can recognize: Olam, ADM, Bongi, some of them. And of course, the big farmers you hear about in the United States, those ones that have 2,000 hectares, 3,000 hectares of soybeans, are also members of this organization. So that is, and then what is this training program all about? The SAC was developed by USEC, that's US Soy, as a program to help emerging and developing countries and to support a cascade of demand for soya and soya-related products in these regions. So you know what we do is a program of US Soy to help emerging and developing markets to develop and use more soya. That's what this is all about. How do we go about this? I've mentioned is a workforce capacity development program put in place by this organization. And who do we target? Entry to mid-level professionals within the soya value chain. Entry to mid-level professionals. So if you ask me, who are these groups of people? People on a poultry farm you will call, for instance, supervisors, managers, nutritionists, quality control individuals will fall. We are not targeting, for instance, the CEOs. Those ones are already expiring. We're looking to future leaders. We're looking to attract future leaders. And maybe as I speak along, you get a glimpse of why we target future leaders. Which are the courses that are currently offered and the tracks that we have? Of course, poultry is probably our number one. Poultry. Feed production. So if you're a feed miller here, you're a poultry operator here, if you're an aquaculture person, and if you're in swine too, this program will benefit either you or the people that work with you within the band that I just mentioned to you. For the 4 courses, or we call them tracks, we also offer them at 3 levels. The first, what we call the entry level, is the basic level. And this one is self-paced hybrid. Self-paced means you study at your own pace, but it has to be within 1 month. So you start, let's say, January 1. By the end of January, you should complete the program. If you successfully complete, say, the poultry track, basic, self-paced hybrid in 1 month, print your certificate out. By the way, the curriculum for poultry and feed were developed by Kansas State University. They were developed by Kansas State, those two. The one for aquaculture was developed by another organization based in South Africa. But not to worry. we took it a step further. What did we do? We got competitively, went around the country and saw some of the best you can think of within the Nigerian space. 6 of them, each for the 4 tracks identified here. So for poultry, we have 6 of them. Some of them professors from the university, some of them practicing animal scientists, vets, and I think I've seen one of them in the hall here. When I see him well, I'll identify him to you. So they help us to, one, domesticate this program to our own climb. And it has really, really helped in moving the program forward. So that's our vision, to support agriculture as a foundation for a healthy and growing Nigeria, with soy as a solution for Nigeria and sub-Saharan Africa's protein need. I don't need to talk too much about protein deficiency, which is a huge, huge problem in our part of the world. I think the World Health Organization says Nigeria close to above 32% of Nigerians are micronutrient deficient. That should not be so for a big country like Nigeria. But we're happy to identify with Nigeria in helping to strike at the heart of that huge problem. And what's the mission? Provide sustainable educational platform to advance learning and best practices. Best practices, underscore that. That is what we pass on to anybody who pass through our program, and to support Nigeria's soya value chain. Of course, whatever you have there, we have a well-structured team, the Regional Advisory Council. These are seasoned Nigerians. They keep us guided and keep us in the right direction to ensure that we are doing the right thing. This program is international. It's not just a Nigerian program. It's not just a program for sub-Saharan Africa. It's a global soya excellence center in Egypt, covering the whole of North Africa and the Middle East. We call that MENA, is another soya excellence center. India has a standalone just for India alone. You know, India is the biggest country in the world now in terms of population. And of course, in Asia, we have 2 locations, one in Singapore and the second one in Thailand. And jump from all that, you come to sub-Saharan Africa, out of Nigeria, and that's where I'm speaking from. Is another excellence. So the curriculum that we cuts across is global. All we do is to domesticate the curriculum to our own climb with our own subject matter experts. This is a rundown of where we have been over the past 5 years. So in 2023, there was a paradigm shift. Let me see what happened here. Okay. It's a model up here. But this program actually started in 2020. 2020, November was when we had the first training program. And all the training programs between then and 2023 were all in person. In other words, both our basic, intermediate, and advanced programs were all handled in person. But of course, you know, COVID happened and we learned new things. What did we learn? That you can use technology and reach out. So we pivoted to the global digital platform. And what that allowed us to do, to us, it was a big paradigm shift. Why is it a paradigm shift? It helped us, one, to train more people and to cut costs. Wouldn't you? That's something anybody will like to see. You see what I mean by that. That started in January of 2023. In 2024, the continuing education. In other words, we believe you are educated today. I mean, the pace of change, of information making the rounds now is just nothing short of phenomenal. Nothing short of phenomenal. So what you learned in the university or whatever you learned 2, 3, 4 years ago has actually become stale. You have to keep learning. So we believe in continuing education. And so the community pod, the global digital platform was introduced. A pilot training. This program, like I said, is supposed to be sub-regional, sub-Saharan Africa. But we had our first training of 7 Ghanaians in March of 2024. A quarterly webinar was also introduced as part of the continued community event was also introduced. A community in-person event, that was just this year we introduced. So we're not just talking to you online, we bring you into a place relevant to you, maybe a poultry plant, an aquaculture organization, and you're able to see what you learn in the classroom or online practically. This last 2 is important to us. Another set of Ghanaians took our basic training program in 2025, but in August, working with our partner organization, our sister organization called the World Initiative for Soya in Human Health, we're able to bring a set of 7 Ghanaians, 2 Nigerians, all the way to the IITA, and that can be really very, very expensive. But the 7 Ghanaians were all sponsored by our sister organization, the World Initiative for Soya in Human Health. So gradually we are stepping out of Nigeria and we're bringing other African countries into this space. So this gives you a rough idea of what the paradigm shift did for us. So you can see in the 5 years of training in person, bringing in person together, it's 1,630, which accounts for just 34% of all our training program. But in 2.5 years, 2.5 years of training via the self-paced hybrid, see the number that we have trained, 3,070, which is 66% of our training programs. You can agree with me that this is really a paradigm shift. I'm almost there, so just stay with me and we'll be done. The next will be the statistics. You can see them yourself. To date, close to 5,000 people have been trained. Individual training programs that were organized. 84 courses have been offered over these many years. And poultry is very dominant. And of course, if you look at soya usage in Nigeria, I think it reflects this pattern too. The much of soybeans that is consumed in Nigeria, maybe over 52% of it goes to service the poultry sector. Of course, the other ones, feed meal, see the number there, 1184, aquaculture, 894 individuals. You see the map of Nigeria there and the dots. This was an innovation that our Regional Advisory Council brought to us. Why are you concentrating this program just in the southwest of Nigeria? Can't you take it to other locations? And we bought into it. So we've been able to go to places, so beyond the Ibadan, we have done one in Lagos, we've done one in Abuja, we've done one in Enugu, we've done one in Calabar, we've done one in Port Harcourt, or 2 as the case might be. What are we trying to achieve? Bring the training close to the people we want to train. So that's what the map is there to show. This is the statistics again in another format. You know, every time I make this presentation, people ask me if this program is this rich, if it is making this impact. I wish we really have the time to show you some things about the impact, so to say, improved. Why? Because they identified with this program. And the photo you see there, that's at the IITA with our principals from across the United States. The growers you hear of 2,000 farms came to Nigeria to see this program. It's like we're investing in this program. Let's go and see it. So that's when they visited us at the IITA. The rest are pictures. This will not benefit you now, but when your staff or yourself go through our program, you appreciate better some of the things that are happening here. We reward people locally, nationally, and internationally. And for you to be rewarded, you have to be active. You have to show interest. You have to be a leader, a tomorrow leader, as the case might be. And these are some of the leaders that, and you can see they are all young people. They are all young people. So we are seeing these guys as tomorrow's leaders. These are probably the CEOs of the big corporation, maybe Obasanjo Farms, Zartec, all the big farms you can think of. We hope they grow to become that. And they will become the decision makers. So we are catching them young. When they grow, we will work together with them. This is our CEO. Where is he? They want to, second from the left is the global CEO. So he had the opportunity of meeting these industry leaders and our regional advisory council just this past June. And of course, he helped us to present certificates to our trainees. So this is where I started from, where I gave you that story of my encounter with the professor. When you look at the Sir Excellence Center, the first column, you can see that it ticks all the boxes, all the relevant boxes you want to talk about. What are we talking about? The program objectives, the training content. We literally went around the world, at the kind of people we are looking at. What kind of knowledge would they want to advance in? What will help them on their job? Which training program exists? What are they teaching them? And we handpicked all and came up with a program content and curriculum that is literally unbeatable. International relevance. I've just told you this program is global. So at a point when you enter our system, you begin to relate to your people, the same friends you have in the Americas, in Pakistan, in India, as the case might be. This program is not just international. It's well domesticated to our climate. It meets our domestic regulations. And of course, we are by law required to also be registered with the Nigerian Institute of Animal Science. So they know about it. They have certificated and accessible. Can be very expensive. On one of the days, as our team were just checking out from the IITA, and you have to sign that I stayed. So they gave one of these guys his own bill. And he came to me, you mean you spend this much on us? I won't give you any, but it runs in the hundreds of thousands for just the 3 days of being there. A room at the IIT as we speak now is about $100 per night. So you can begin to extrapolate. And you see, so training, delivery method, expertise, the resource person we use is global. What again, cost and budget. With the introduction of the global digital platform, we've been able to participant needs and preferences. You can see that the Sir Excellence Center ticks all the boxes. All the boxes. What am I here to do today? Basically to ask you, one, are you in poultry production? If the answer is yes, you are in the right place with me. Within the Nigerian space or outside of here. Yeah, I'm done. I'm almost done. If you are a feed miller and you are here, you are welcome to participate in our program. If you are in aquaculture and you are here, you are welcome. So if you are the owner of the organization, what will we expect? We expect you to send your staff, entry to mid-level professional, to us, and we will train them. If you are in swine, if you are in dairy, the curriculum is still being developed, and as soon as it becomes available, we'll also let you know. But if you are in this place, please make sure you connect with us. How can you connect with us? Our stand is out there. Come. me the opportunity to share with us. Don't forget, thank you. We have our stand right there, and we look forward to you coming to register, and we'll provide a training. Thank you, and have a good day.
Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for him once again. That's Dr. Michael Davis of US Soy, and we're grateful for that presentation. I want to believe that we have one or two. Is there anybody that has some questions? Let me even be sure of that first before. Okay, one. Okay, and that's all. We have one question. Okay, maybe we can quickly take that question. Please come forward, sir. Can quickly take that question before I move on. Before the question, please, for those of us standing, apologies for that. We've asked the organizers and people managing this to send in more chairs so that we can fill up some other places. Please, the chairs will come in good time. Apologies for that. I think we made provision for lesser participants than anticipated, but that will be sorted out very soon. Please, your question, please. Yes.
Thank you very much, Dr. David. Actually, I am one of those that benefited from Soy Excellence Center.
That's good.
I was at IITA for the basic certificate, for the in-person, the one he talked about. Then the in-person was done, was part of the basic certificate. So I had issue with my email address, so they could not get across to me for the intermediate. But along the line, somebody got in touch with me, and I got in touch with him. He had to rectify that. I did the intermediate at Enugu. It was basically free of charge. In fact, at IITA, I had to ask them, because I'm an economist, you can't be giving me something free. I believe everything must be paid for. I need to find out where the money was coming from. The hotel we stay at Enugu, that was the best hotel in Enugu. Now, this is my question, sir. You said for feed meal, that if you are the owner, you should send your staff. Like I told you, I told you this yesterday. See, I was about going to feed milling when I saw this. But if I've heard this from you then that you don't come, you send your staff, I'll probably don't benefit. But for a young person who wants to go into feed mill, are you saying he should not come? That he should first of all go and start and then send his staff? That's
well,
my question.
I think you just said it. Other aspect of the qualification that I mentioned, that you have to be entry to mid-level professional. So if you are young, and in fact, we call that group what we call entrepreneurs. You know, these are young individuals, not too long ago, got out of college, rather than go to wait in the banks for 5 years for a job opening to get. Say, no, I learned animal science, I can put it into use. Let me go into feed production. Let me go into animal poultry production, aquaculture production. Please, if you are in that category, in fact, you are a prime target. We want to be there for you at the onset. I have followed a farmer, a poultry farmer particularly, after coming out from the university, did his NYSC, started, 1,000 or 2,000 birds in less than 5 years, had grown to over 100,000 birds in less than 5 years. All he was doing is whatever he was getting from, he was reinvesting it back, and he just said, so we target you. So feel free, we call you entrepreneurs. Keep coming, don't be discouraged. You are both the CEO, but also we call you an entrepreneur, and you can participate in the program.
on stage at some point in time while I do some other logistics to sort things out. Thank you.
Great farmers, thank you for listening, and I want to appreciate US Soy for all they do. I'm a USEC ambassador. I've attended virtually all the courses from basic to intermediate because I run a livestock farm, I have swine, I have poultry, and we meal on the farm. But because of the knowledge I gained in USEC, I'm a radio presenter for PAN in Ondo State. With what I dish out on here, a farm called me in Ekiti to consult for them. And what I injected into the farm is what I learned from USEC. And the farm is taking a new shape. They are really good. They are the best.
Thank you very much for that testimony. I'm sure USEC will be very glad to hear the testimony live and direct here. So that's just to attest to the fact that you can take advantage of that. So we need to move on at the moment. You have a testimony? You have a question? A question for USEC? Maybe you can see them privately, please, because we've exhausted the opportunity. They are still here. You can meet with them before they leave or maybe at their stand. Thank you so much. We were supposed to have FACO West Africa, but I understand they are not here yet. Kemin met me while I was on seat. I hope they've not left too. Okay, good. So please, we're going to be having Kemin Industries Nigeria Limited. Please put your hands together as they come up stage. Let's put our hands together and appreciate them for their presentation.
Great farmers. Great farmers. No farmer. Good morning to you, everyone. And once again, I want to welcome us all to this year Nigeria Poultry. Was founded in 1961 in US, and we are operating currently in over 90 countries of the world. We're a global leader in feed additives, and we are committed to sustainably transform the quality of life for 80% of the world's population. Our sub-Saharan African country, our sub-Saharan African headquarters is based in Joburg, where we produce locally. We produce in Africa for Africa. As a feed additive supplier of livestock, we help our customers to achieve optimal nutrition for feed quality, gut health, and pathogen control. Great farmers. As a poultry farmer in Nigeria, your major role is to produce protein, high quality protein that is safe for human consumption. That is our major role. And Kemin, as a company, we are committed to helping the farmer, to assist the farmers to achieve this major goal. For farmers to produce high quality protein, you have a single tool at your disposal to use. And these are the chicks. Be it broilers, chicks, layer chicks. And these chicks are highly specialized birds. They are results of genetically selected activities. And at the end of the day, you have these birds of high quality, high growth rate. They have been bred to grow in a very rapid rate, which means they also need some requirements in terms of feed for them to achieve that purpose of high growth rate. So you have that in layers, and you have it also in broilers. Then for these birds to achieve that purpose, don't forget I said they are products of genetic research, and they have been selected to achieve that purpose. Because we are putting them under that condition, they are also very sensitive to stress. And this stress, as farmers, as feed millers, as nutritionists, we need to find ways of managing the stress. This is one of the things that stress will do when it comes to production. It will reduce the production capacity of our animals. Talking about stress, stress could come to our operation, to our boss, in different ways. It could be as a result of the feed. It could come from the feed, heat, rapid growth, disease, and management, even density. And this is what you have. The normal capacity of the boss is the size that you see, especially in broiler chicken. If your boss is not stressed, or the farm, the broiler is expected to have a certain growth, table size, when it comes to the end of the rearing period. But when these various stress come into operation, they reduce the performance of your boss. And that is what you have left, is what you see in the middle. Now, to tackle the stress we are talking about, I'll be mainly talking about the feed perspective this morning. What you can do, what you can put into your feed to help your boss to tackle the stress coming from the feed, and to also assist the boss to get good production at the end of your operation. So as a result of this, I'll be talking about poultry nutrition pyramid for your operation. This is how the pyramid looks like. The base is talking about feed safety and feed quality. And that is the foundation. If you don't have a very good foundation of feed safety and feed quality in your operation, talking about the raw materials you are using, whatever you are going to put upon it will not be that effective. Then I'm going to also look at feed utilization. When you have a safe feed and good quality feed, another step to go is how to utilize that feed by your birds to achieve the purpose. Then I'll also be talking about the healthy gut environment. If the feed is safe and you have it in a quality form, and the feed utilization capacity is intact, but the gastrointestinal tract of your boss are not in good condition to digest and absorb that feed, you are wasting your time. So that's the reason why we need to look at all this. So putting all this together, I will be talking about you feeding smartly and to get stronger growth. Now, as farmers and feed millers, you have various raw materials at your disposal, like maize, soya, every different types of raw material that you can select to use. But one thing that is very clear is that those raw materials, they varies in terms of quality at the point of reception. You should see this particular maize now. You see that there's a lot of mold growth on it. It is very visible. If you have materials like this, you can't go ahead and produce feed with this, and you say you are going to have a very safe feed. No. This is a visible growth that you are seeing on your maize. You need to tackle that. What can you use to tackle that? You need what we call mold curb S-dry. That's one of the solutions that Kemi provides in terms of feed safety. If you don't work against that mold, if you don't attract and arrest the growth of the mold, at the end of the day, the feed consumption of your boss will not be good because the feed will come out spoiled, losing almost all the nutrient value in it. And at the end of the day, it will result towards a kind of economic loss. And also, for the fact that you are seeing the mold growing, there is a 100% tendency that you have mycotoxin in that feed that comes out of this kind of material. Another thing that we need to also take note of, because I've met with various farmers, and they will tell you that I don't need to use additive called toxin binder because look at my maize. My maize is very clean. Can't you see? The fact that the maize is clean does not mean that mold is not growing there. It is not yet visible, but activities of mold can still go on there. So as a farmer, you need to protect your resources, even when you are using maize as clean as this. So you need to use toxin binder to tackle mycotoxin, because this mycotoxin will come as a result of the effect of mold in your operation. So adding mycotoxin binder to your feed will bind mycotoxin, and it is very beneficial to the farmers. Because without that, you discover that the effect of mycotoxin in your feed is not small, and it can cost you a whole lot. Because at the end of the day, if you don't take care of it, there can be a kind of reproductive failure, gastrointestinal distress, and also immunosuppression. Those are the few from the effect you can have as a result of mycotoxin in your feed. So still talking about feed safety, we also need to take care of bacteria from our raw materials, from the feed, even during our feed processing in the feed mill. So because of that, you need a product we call Sarcop S Dry. And that product is going to wipe away every form of bacteria along your feed processing cycle. It's a very potent antimicrobial in the feed. So if you put all this in consideration, you've already taken care of feed safety in your operation. What other things can you put in place? You also look at digestibility of the raw materials. Now you are having a very good quality raw material and at the end of the day, you have put all those feed safety measures. Then you now look forward to the digestibility of those materials. And that's the next step now. So, talking about digestibility, because of the fact that these boards, as I said the other time, they have been selected in such a way to perfect expectation. So now, this raw material that we are using, under normal circumstances, best have the ability of producing what we call enzyme, which is an endogenous enzyme. And the function of the enzyme is to help the boss, to help to make those raw materials to be digested and utilized optimally. But because we have stressed those boss, and with the different types of things that we call external enzyme, that is an exogenous enzyme now. That is what you are able to put into your feed yourself. So we need to also put that for our boss. This is the typical picture of a major raw material, which is maize. This is how it looks like. With those different parts, research has shown that if you use maize in your ration and even other raw materials, without the use of exogenous raw materials, there is no way you can have 100% digestibility of your maize and other materials. And that's the reason why you need an enzyme. So Chemin, as a company, we have an enzyme called Chemzyme Sci-Vi Pro that will be of very advantage to your operation. Sorry. Next slide, please. So this slide is going to tell us what an enzyme will do in our feed. So from our various raw materials that we have combined to formulate our ration, when you put an enzyme called Kenzyme Sci-Fi Pro, this is what it's going to do. The phytase aspect of the enzyme is going to work on all the plant ingredients to release more phosphorus into the ration. And also the protease will digest the protein in those various components of the material. Xylanase also will help to break up the plant cells and fibers. And when xylanase does that, it will increase, it will give more energy, make more energy to be available. And at the end of the day, the NSP and other things in the enzyme will also help in every other aspect. Then at the end of the day, you have increased nutrient availability from your feed. Then having an enzyme in the ration is a very good idea because you want to improve digestibility. But you still need to go a step further with the use of what we call a nutritional emulsifier to the feed. The nutritional emulsifier will help in a way to help to digest and also to help to absorb what has been digested. It's a different ball game for us to have digestion. If you take care of the digestion, if the absorption is not superb, you are still not doing the thing as it is expected to do. But one additional thing is that lysophos also help to digest fast-soluble nutrients, and it also help in the digestion and absorption of fat, and it works in various ways, in 4 different ways, through emulsification, fat hydrolysis, and micelle formation. Then at the end of the day, you have improvement in absorption of your the digested ration. Now, putting an enzyme and lysophos in ration will help both broiler farmers and layer farmers to achieve this purpose. It will help to improve digestibility and availability of nutrients. It also helps to improve intestinal absorption of the nutrients of the bird. So if that happens, as a layer farmer, what you have is that there will be an increase in a kilo or tonnage of your production as a broiler farmer when you come to weighing the results. And for layer farmers also, you have increase in the number of trays of eggs that you have. And also the quality of your eggshell will be improved. And also the yolk color of the eggs will be there will be a great improvement in that. So those are the aspects we talk about when you're talking about feed utilization. So I'm going to the next part of the pyramid, which is healthy gut environment. For poultry birds to perform optimally, to get good growth and to produce optimally, they need to first ingest the feed through the mouth, digest the feed, and absorb the nutrients. I want us to look at this particular picture. And it's a very good sign to us in any farm. When you see this picture, the one that is on the other side that looks watery, that's the fecal sample of poultry, what we also know as poultry droppings. When you see the other one that looks watery and without shape, even with some dots of color, that gives a kind of information to you as a farmer that the gastrointestinal tract of your birds are not in good condition. That bird is not in right health condition. Then the other one, if you see this kind of droppings on your farm, it is well formed, it has a good shape with that white cap on top of it. It's telling you that your bird is okay health-wisely. The GIT of your birds is performing very well. So we are going to look at more of the detail. This is how the GIT of birds look like. And what you see is that from the mouth, which is the beak of the birds, they pick the diet, and it goes through all the tract. And what you see is that as the feed is moving from one portion to the other along the GIT, the bells, the feed is exposed to various chemicals in terms of acid, in terms of enzymes, everything in the GIT to digest and absorb the ration. But eventually, if the GIT is not in good condition, you now discover that at the lower end of that intestinal tract, you are going to have what we call undigested protein accumulated there. And if it is there, it's not going to be useful to your birds, but it's going to be useful to unwanted bacteria. Those ones are the ones that are going to be feeding on that. And as a result of feeding on that one, it will become a very serious health issue for your birds. And that's the reason why you get what we call bacterial enteritis or necrotic enteritis in your farm. So now, this particular cycle we affect the boss. So at the end of the day, all those things put together, we make the boss to have this particular condition. And they have diarrhea, the food part lesion, and different things. Now, how do we improve that? You can improve that by adding feed additives from Chemi. And what are the feed additives? We have anticosi, we have an organic acid called citrilac that also help in terms of protein digestion. Then we have our enzymes. You put all those things together, they will also assist to remove undigested, they will help the proteins and the diet to be digested very well. And instead of the bacteria feeding on the undigested one, everything will be digested and absorbed very well with your boss. And at the end of the day, all this work. What are the products I'm talking about? I'm talking about citrilac and acidifier, Cosante and anticosi. Then Chemzyme Sci-Fi Pro, we have close start, and all put together, they will help. And at the end of the day, you eliminate bacteria enteritis in your operation. So, and at the end of the day, you have very good production, as I mentioned earlier. Then the mortality on the farm will be reduced drastically. So I'm going to conclude here. Essentially, this is the poultry nutrition pyramid I was talking about, and the base for us, which means the very first step that a farmer must take is talking about feed safety and feed quality. And to have that, you must produce with high quality raw materials, supporting with the use of products that will bring down the microbial load of your feed, and also helping with mycotoxin binder in the Thank you very much.
Please put your hands together for him. Thank you very much, sir. We are going to just make a little adjustment to this. Because of the time, we started very, very late. We currently have Welcome, please put your hands together as I welcome Agromerit for their presentation, followed by Waco West Africa, please. Waco West Africa, sorry. Agromerit, are you here? Oh, they've stepped out. Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Great farmers and no farmers, no nation. It's a privilege again to be on ground for this poultry show. Every event here is principally a business. So we are come for a business forum. We want to make profit. All the grammar is ending up, how much profit can I make? And at what level can I make my profit? That's all the grammar we have been speaking of. And when you talk in time of animal production, poultry inclusive, we know that the major concern is the feed itself. So we are going to be talking on why the raw material should not be compromised in feed production. Everybody is interested in that. My name is Kunye Tony Ajibola. I'm speaking, standing for Agromerit Limited, a very notable supplier of high quality raw material to Nigeria markets as I see today. Can you put a hand together for Agromerit? I'm a farmer, so I'm a practicing farmer, and I'm their technical sales manager or nutritionist. I understand something by privilege of experience, and I'm going to convert those things together today so that it can impact our audience. We know that raw material takes, or the feed cost takes almost 70%, 75% or more of your cost of production. True of us. We know. So it's an area of interest that takes your naira, kobo, dollars, or euro away from you. So you need to be mindful of what goes into your feed. And every feed is a function of raw material or ingredients you bring together to produce a finished product called feed. So those ingredients are the raw materials. We call it raw because you are processing them to a particular finished product called feed. So every bag of feed you have contains a lot of materials. And those materials are quantified to animal as a nutrients. So it's a nutrients pool. Those things have to be understood. And for every feed formulation, it's an act, I will call it an act, but also is scientific in nature. There are some factors that affect your feed formulation. And I'm going to discuss few of this one for the sake of this presentation. We talk about the factor of a nutritional target. The truth is this: any hit and run or try and error approach to business will lead to frustration. Target is the key for profitable business at any level in every venture. You know where you are going before you start. So you are going to work towards where you are going. You can't be going nowhere. You won't achieve any result. So also in livestock farming, feed inclusive and nutrition, there must be a nutritional target. And those nutritional targets are based on several factors, including, for example, the species of your animal. The kind of animal you are rearing determine the kind of formulation you are going to give to them. Hybrid, live breed, those things must put into consideration. Then your production goal objective also determine a lot. If it's a broiler, you talk about the growth rate, how fast your broiler can grow. That's what it takes. If for egg production, the number of eggs and the volume of eggs produced. And if you're into dairy, then you talk about the volume of your milk. Or if you're into breeding animal, that will become a very classic issue. Beyond the volume, the quality of the milk. The milk raised the younger ones. So if what you are giving to the younger ones is not rich enough, you're going to have an issue. And also you talk about the age of the animal. You see some of our feed millers, you won't have one feed that takes care of everything. You see starter, pre-starter, grower, pre-grower, layer. They are just telling you that this animal, as they grow, their requirement varies. And let me tell you one thing. There's what we call nutritional requirement of this animal. How to do well is not is the problem. But to do well is not the problem. Every animal has their own nutritional requirement. If you walk along with that, they'll give you a result. But many of us know the target, but how to get there is a problem. So I said people work on principle so much, but the principle is left behind. So you keep on struggling with the principle because you didn't carry the principle along. So today we are going to see the principle and the principle work together so that we can have a better profit in what we are doing. Protein, availability, essential amino acid. Number 3, nutritional research and advancement is also part of the team where you are formulating. Things are changing every day. You had the other speaker here. If you carry 10 years knowledge to this place, it may not be relevant again. So every day things are upgraded. But we are nutritional research for a purpose, for genetic impact. Genetics are being improved, and whatever you gain from genetics is compensated by nutrition. You raise a fast-growing animal that can move so fast. In those days, we raised broilers or chicken for about 10 months, 8 months. Is that not true? But today, 40-something days, 43 days, your chicken is ready. So the genetics have been improved. But the genetics cannot do any wonder without a compensation from nutrition. So we have to balance. This one tells us what we do. Economic consideration. That is one is very important. We are doing business. We are not just doing research for show. High quality product that's not economically viable is a waste of time and energy. So we look at the nutrients requirement and economic constraints. There's a correlation between nutrient requirement and economic constraints. I need to give this one to my animal, but at what cost? So we narrow it to what we call least cost formulation in feed production. How do we marry the economic constraint? I don't want to spend much beyond the boundary. At the same time, I want to give my birds a better feed to eat. And that one leads to optimal profitability. What are the consequences now? Having know the reason why you are formulating your product of compromising quality raw material in your feed products. Number 1, the quality product itself. It's affect the quality of your product, both as a feed miller and also a livestock farmers. Because inferior raw material is going to lead to inferior feed. And what inferior feed gives you is going to be something you don't like with animal. Inferior result. It will affect the quality of the animal product. For example, if your feed material is very poor, you'll be surprised your quality of your product will be very poor. Sometimes you take some subtle or meal, you say, you enjoy the taste, the aroma. At the same time, you take some meat, you won't like it. So it is what you give to the animal condense and deliver to you as a pocket of your meal. you need to maintain high quality product. Because cutting costs at short run seems pays you. But at long run, it doesn't pay. It doesn't make sense. It can even lead to business collapse. Complete business collapse. And that's what so many people have been experiencing. They say, sir, if I know, I won't do that. Why? The set target must be known before you start production. You must set your target. So you work on your set target. There's no other way around. Number 3 points there, your brand reputation. It can damage your brand reputation if you don't have a good product. And let me tell you, for those of us that are feed millers, we appreciate your work very well. But if you want to promote your product, your business, get ready to have what we call quality input. It goes along for your brand reputation. And once the customer trust is withdrawn from your brand, you are gone. Customer trust. So people are still coming today for the past 25 years now. By God's grace to me, because I've been a support. I've been a supporter of quality product, advocate of it, of course, because I understand the major reason why you are doing business.